Hi there. Recording's in progress, which means you guys can all come in. The bell is ringing, so give you a chance to do that. How are you doing today? It's a beautiful day here where I am sitting in my office at Wondrous Roots in downtown Keene, New Hampshire. Really happy to be here and glad you are too. So excited about today's program. I've got another hot topic, if you will, and I think you'll be interested. It's a little bit off. Well, not really, but well, it surrounds natural health, right? So it's not that far off what I normally do. But excuse me, I'm just going to clear my throat. Sorry about that. Okay, so it feels like it might be a froggy throat day. I'm not sure, but just bear with me. I'll just sound like somebody hoarse, like Brenda Vaccaro or somebody like that. If anybody remembers who Brenda Vaccaro was, I'm giving away my age. Anyway, you are here in at Wondrous Roots, your health from the ground up. My name is Rebecca Becky Montrone. I have a practice here in Keene. We have a practice called Wondrous Roots. I am a holistic healthcare practitioner certified through the American Association of Drugless Practitioners with a degree in holistic nutrition, but I'm also a herbalist. And I love to formulate. I have a strong compound pharmacy background in my genes and in my growing up. It's really kind of funny because every time I take my vitamins in the morning, I think of my mother, because it was my mother who got us all into taking vitamins. I mean, she was putting them out by the handfuls. And we were doing that as teenagers, and she got us all into that. And then it's like through my dad that, I kind of got all that wanting to concoct things medicinal. And so it's really a lot of fun. And so anyway, we are here. I see clients in private consultation for whatever situation of health, preventive. I love wellness. I just really absolutely, though, love working with people who have been diagnosed with something that, like a degenerative chronic disease that, or a couple of them that looks like, you're just going to get older and it's just going to get worse, and then just not having that happen. I absolutely love that. So whatever, I just had a woman who's 73, and she's had heart issues, including open heart surgery years ago, and she's supposed to be having valve replacement. She has AFib, and her cardiologist. I'm not patting myself on the back. Believe you me, that's not my point in saying this. This is just simply the power of changes you make even at what we would consider later in life, right? In your 70s. And you've got something like atrial fibrillation to the point that you can't do the things you love to do because you don't have the energy, and that you're on a list for a heart valve replacement. And that isn't necessary. I think I might have mentioned her last week, but anyway, I had a woman in yesterday, my last appointment of the week, and a similar situation with arthritis and with, she's a painter. She's got arthritis in her hands, and she's like, she's 67, and she has a longevity in her family. And she's like, I want to paint. I've got all of these ideas. She wants to paint. She's going to paint like all of the Greek gods, but she used to be a costumer, so I don't want to give away her idea, but she's setting it to this beautiful music, and she wants to see it performed. You know what I'm saying? She's like 67, but she feels like I've got like 25, 30 years here to do what I love to do, and I can't do it because I've got arthritis and I'm a painter. So being able to work with people like that is really fun. But of course, it's really great to work with people who are younger to prevent all of that from getting there in the first place, right? But then to see that you can, it was very interesting. Let me talk about this, because when RFK Jr. yesterday was announcing his suspension of his campaign for president and endorsing Trump, he was talking about chronic disease. And it's really, well, I talk about this all the time, but I'm working on an Alzheimer's presentation at the moment. And I really go into the medical industrial complex, and I really go into how chronic diseases just go up. And I say that all the time. Like, if this paradigm was working, if what we're doing is working, then, well, it's not working. It's not working. because people are just getting chronic diseases more and more sick. So cardiovascular, cancer, neurodegenerative, dementias, things like that, diabetes, things like that, respiratory, COPD and asthma and all that kind of stuff. So we've got an epidemic of chronic disease. And then there's a germ out there and we all get freaked out like, oh my God, I'm going to die of some virus that I might catch from somebody. It's like, oh my goodness, you know, I'll just never forget. And I don't mean to put people down, but seeing people just hugely looking massively unhealthy in general, like you wonder how they even get around walking around during the pandemic with a mask on their face, worried about getting that. And again, people didn't do well with all the chronic diseases. But again, RFK in his speech, and if you haven't seen that, go to YouTube and watch the whole thing. It's really worth watching. I would love to see him in a position in government where he could take on, you know, Health and Human Services and the FDA and CDC and being all in bed with the food suppliers of the food supply to this nation, and especially the children, as he says, and especially the impoverished, because they're the ones who get the government help and they get all of the food that's not food and that's contaminated food with the seed oils and the sugar and all of the processing. And so we have this epidemic of chronic disease. But he said, if he could handle that, if he could do that, if he could get in there in a position to do that, I mean, he basically said, within 2 years, we could turn around the disaster of chronic disease that we're seeing right now. And when I work with older people with chronic disease and see those things change and change quickly, I know what he's right. And so, you know, this is the real joy that you can have, that I can have. We don't have to do what they're doing if we know better. And we take it upon ourselves to discipline ourselves, to eat differently, to do the things that we know will keep us. But isn't it exciting when a person who's in advanced years, who's thinking, I've got arthritis, I've got atrial fibrillation, which I've had for, I think she said 20 years, which we can get rid of. I'm quite sure. In fact, I'm going to say I know that. And yet you just think, no, I can't. I mean, because I have these chronic diseases, and chronic diseases don't get better as you get old. They get older, they just get worse, right? So it's very distressing and it's very depressing. And then that leads to what? We have an epidemic of mental health issues, right? So now you're totally depressed because you're an artist and you have all of these dreams and ideas. And she showed me some of her work and she is phenomenal. You have all of these dreams and ideas and you have all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, when you get to be like our age, that's when you don't want to be slowing down, because that's when you have experience and wisdom and a lot more knowledge than you had 20, 30 years ago. And so you want to be able to have the health to get it out there and to be to be vital in your world, in your sphere of influence, in your life. And enjoy life. And a lot of the enjoyment of life comes from doing the things that you are fit to do. So anyway, it's very exciting. So I think I said that to say I work with people with all different problems. I do work with people in person and long distance like this. And so you can reach us here, 603-439-2603. Our normal open door hours are 9:30 to 5 Monday through Friday, and that's here in Keene, New Hampshire, so that's Eastern Standard Time. And it doesn't really matter, because if you're not in here, you're not going to be coming through the door, right? But and we do do a lot of business online. So I have a full shop, wondrousroots.com, or if you go to wondrousroots.org, you get there easily just by hitting shop. And you can then see like all the stuff we carry and everything like that. So I had it in my mind, as you know, I tell you this every week because it's a big project, but it's an ongoing project and it's something I absolutely love to do. And that's putting informational pages up on my website. So I had a client yesterday afternoon said, wow, you're really getting a lot of stuff up there. She goes, I could spend hours just like reading. So it's really great. It's a passion. So my latest thing I did was mushrooms, medicinal mushrooms. Talked about those many times here, you know, here and there through the years. On my radio program, I've had Justin Garner on. I should look him up and get him on again. He's like a great resource when it comes to mushrooms. But again, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. We are surrounded with God's creation, and God is really smart, and he put the medicine in our food if we know how to use it and we use it. It doesn't do us any good. Like there's nothing happens for us if we don't take what we know and utilize it. But when we do, it makes all the difference. And it keeps us out of the hospital, and it keeps us off the big pharma solutions or treatments for things. And again, I'm not saying, if you're not familiar with me or anything, maybe you're listening for the first time on Rumble or YouTube or something, I'm not a substitute for your doctor, and I'm not intending to be or claiming to be. But we know we have a lot of power to be healthy and not need a doctor when we need a doctor, and not be dependent on a medical physician. So anyway, I have a presentation I'm going to do. Maybe before I do, I'll share my screen, and then yes, you can participate. So you can raise your hand and I'll call on you to speak if that's how you want to participate, or you can type in the chat, or you can type in the Q&A. And if you do those things, I will pay attention and keep my antenna out so that I can make sure that I get to you. And you don't have to talk about mushrooms. You can talk about anything. I love just fielding questions or ideas. I love hearing your ideas. I'm learning all the time. What did I learn this week because of somebody? Oh yeah, I know what it was. Oh, palmitoyl ethanolamide, PEA. So I've talked about that several times in the last couple of months. And palmitoyl ethanolamide is an, oh gosh, it's a ethanolamine, right? And these are things that we make in our bodies, like we make cannabinoids. Like we can use CBD, we can use cannabinoids exogenously and take them in, but we make them ourselves. And we have cannabinoid receptors all throughout the body and the brain. The brain's the body too, but we have cannabinoid receptors everywhere. The vagus nerve, which is really important when it comes to our autonomic nervous system, is loaded with cannabinoid receptors. So palmitoyl ethanolamine is like, we call it, think about anandamide. So anandamide is what's in chocolate that makes you feel good. And that's all documented, that's all science. So it works through that whole system, and it's fantastic for pain. And I found out about this probably 2 months ago. I would say about 2 months ago. And I've had an opportunity to try it with people. And I had a really profound reaction from one man who's had a failed back surgery, and he's been in absolute agony and on disability for the last 18 years. And 1/2 hour after taking his first capsule, that pain was gone, and he couldn't take medications. And they don't agree with him. He's been in his life has been ruined. I think I told you about him. But I have another woman. She's usually on here with me, but she's out in Ohio. She's very busy canning, so she has to pick up my programs later. So hi, Karen, when you finally hear this, I'm talking about you. But she's emailed me over the weekend. The PEA is a game changer for me. So when she first started working with me, she has psoriatic arthritis, sciatica. She had to also go on disability a few years ago because of this extreme pain. And she's been on pain meds like meloxicam, not the opiates, but things like that. And she's been doing like a ton of canning. I'm talking like a ridiculous amount of canning. And she said, the PEA is a game changer for me. She said, my pain will be on, and my sciatica and stuff will be at like a 2, which normally if she was doing, she wouldn't be able to do all of that stuff. So that was really good. Then yesterday, and there's been others, but yesterday, this woman that I had in that I was talking about with arthritis, the artist with arthritis and AFib. So when she came in, she's ready for her second knee replacement, right? So when she came in, she was really not looking like she was feeling that great. So I asked her, how are you doing? And she's like, yeah, I'm I usually do better than this, but I've kind of overextended the past couple of days, and my knee is really killing me, and she has a shoulder. Well, she didn't tell me that yet. But anyway, I said, would you do me a favor and just, if you don't mind, I said, this won't be harmful, but do you mind if I give you a capsule of this? And I told her about it. And she said, no. So she took it like right at the beginning of our meeting. So I would say about 45 minutes in, she said, I really think that is working. She said, my knee was really a lot more achy when I first came in. And she said, and I've been having a problem with my shoulder, and that's feeling better. So that's huge. Pain is a horrible problem in our population today. It's terrible. It is really the reason for the opiate epidemic that that's been a scourge in this country for probably the last 20 years, maybe more, with all of the addiction that came with the opiates that were prescribed. Purdue Pharma were prescribed like candy and willy-nilly things to young people that should have, used something else when you just had your surgery. Don't get on opiates. And so this is really wonderful to have people responding like that. So I guess the reason I said that, I'm not really sure, but maybe just to tell you. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. And let's see, let me open up my PDF. And then maybe shrink my screen a little bit so it looks a little bit more like I want it to. So just hang with me, please. I think that'll bring everything into focus, right? Again, I so wish I could do that. I would love just to do the actual PowerPoint, but I can't get to my links, and that's the whole purpose, is to get to the links. So I just have to accept it. I don't like it, but I have to accept it. Okay, I'm going to share. Okay, and when I share, then I always have to make sure that I bring my chat down, bring my participants in, so I can see you guys. And if you chat, I can see you. Move my head up there. Whoops, don't want that there. That and this. Okay. If there's any difficulty like seeing anything or whatever, just let me know. Okay, so fabulous fungi. And yeah, so we'll just dig right in. Today I'm going to focus on 4 of them. The reishi. I want to get that just perfect, but I don't think I can. You guys, can you tell I'm kind of a bit of a perfectionist? I like things to be perfect. Anyway, all right. Okay, now it's pretty good. Okay, so the reishi mushroom, which you can see here, the chaga, which grows on the birch trees, like you guys see, it looks like a big hard, I don't know, it just doesn't really look like a mushroom, does it? We think mushrooms, like the kids' drawings and stuff, like the toadstools and stuff, well, they're mushrooms too. But cordyceps are weird. They're just gross, in my opinion. I mean, it's fine to use the extract medicinally, but the way they come about is just kind of gives me the willies. And then lion's mane. Lion's mane is really a beautiful, beautiful mushroom. So what is a mushroom? This is from, Encyclopedia Britannica. The conspicuous umbrella-shaped fruiting body, sporophore, of certain fungi, typically of the order Agaric. Oh, come on. Somebody help me with my Latin. Agaric. I would love to say that if I would have to work on it, but anyway, you can all try it at home. And oh, great. In the phylum Basidiomycota, that's not so bad. Basidiomycota, but also of some other groups. Popularly, the term mushroom is used to identify the edible sporophores. The term toadstool is often reserved for inedible or poisonous sporophores. There is, however, no scientific distinction between the two names. They're all mushrooms, and either can be properly applied to any fleshy fungus fruiting structure. So there you've got your toadstool, which is really beautiful. If it's going to not be good for you, if it's going to be poisonous, at least it's just really, I don't know, that looks like something to eat, like a strawberry eclair or something. So reishi, that is really, again, you know, our creator is an artist. It's like things could just be ugly and taste bad, but you know, we eat them because it keeps us alive, and it's just not that way. Well, some things do taste bad, I will admit. What is reishi? Reishi is a type of mushroom that grows on live trees. Scientists may call it either Ganoderma lucidum or Ganoderma sinensis. In traditional Chinese medicine, this group of mushrooms is known as Ling Zi. In Japan, they are known as reishi. In China, G. lucidum is known as Chizhi, and G. sinensis is known as Zizhi. Wow. There are many other types of Ganoderma mushrooms, and it's hard to tell the medicinal mushrooms from the other types. Yes, this is why you will not find me, unless I was with Justin Garner or David Witchland around here, somebody like that who knows their mushrooms. You're not going to find me in the woods, like picking a mushroom and giving it a try, even if I'm pretty sure. I'm just not. Reishi has been used as medicine for a very long time in East Asia. It was thought to prolong life, prevent aging, and increase energy. In China, it's been used to strengthen the immune system of cancer patients who receive chemotherapy or radiation therapy. So traditional Chinese medicine, let's see what I've got there. Yeah, okay, no, I don't need this. We don't need to see that. Okay, I don't think I really need to go to that one. So benefit one. Now, what I really love about this presentation today and about the mushrooms is I was talking a little earlier about chronic disease. And chronic disease is really what these foods take care of. They prevent and they help address when those diseases are present. So we're going to see, like, as we go through each of these 4 mushrooms, that they all have similar effects on the same body systems, preventing against the same sort of things. But it's fun to see the science there. And I like to present the science because, again, a lot of times you'll get from mainstream things, well, there's no science regarding that. And there is. You have to know that it's there, and you can't be intimidated by someone kind of saying that they follow the science and you don't, because you're into natural medicine. So we have here the immunomodulating effect of Ganoderma and the possible mechanism. So it says Ganoderma has been used for a long time in China to prevent, let me see if I can pull that up a little bit, prevent and treat various diseases. Accumulated studies have demonstrated that the Ganoderma modulates immune function both in vivo and in vitro, so in the test tube, the petri dish, and in mammals. The immunomodulating effect of effects of Ganoderma were extensive, including promoting the innate immune function, humoral immunity, and cellular immunity. Now, this here is a very important point because, yeah, I'll just stop my share for a second and talk to you about that. This is the big deception about inoculations, childhood inoculations, and the need for them, and this frenzy to, oh my goodness, you have a living organism, get the alcohol swab and get that needle in that arm within 12 hours, because it shows a very surface understanding of the immune system, because there's antibody mediated immunity, right? So we develop antibodies, and vaccines are supposed to be a shortcut to doing that quickly. We develop antibodies being exposed to stuff, like, you know, if you're around somebody who's sneezing and coughing all over you, consider that your vaccination, right? It's not, that's what it is. You build up antibodies as you get exposed to things, and you build up natural immunity. But there's the other whole part of the immune system, which we call cellular immunity, or the innate immune system. So this means that the immune system is strong. So you don't need antibodies to every known illness to man out there. If you did, you would have basically be a person with AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, or you would have, right? Because that's what that is. It's like you have no innate immune system. So anything that comes your way, you're vulnerable to. Well, we're all not that way, or our population wouldn't be where it is in the world today. We're not that way. We're fighting off stuff all the time. We don't even know we're fighting it off. And that's because our immune systems, we have this cellular immunity. We have the innate immunity. And I would point out, and I know I've said this before, but what is his name? Oh gosh, come on. He's the neurologist who wrote the book, the neurosurgeon who wrote Excitotoxins, The Taste That Kills, Russell Blaylock. Russell Blaylock says that vaccine that they give babies at 12 hours old, the hepatitis B vaccine, which hepatitis B is what drug users, needle users and sexually promiscuous people get. And you can always test a mother for hepatitis B before the baby's born. You don't have to just inject every baby in the country with hepatitis B vaccine 12 hours after coming out of the womb, but they do. And Russell Blaylock said that vaccine delays the development of the innate immune system, the immune system I'm talking about, your immune system that is not antibody mediated, but it is mediated by the strength of your cellular immunity, by 6 months. Devastating. Oh, if you don't do this, the baby might get, no, if you do this, you're going to destroy my baby's innate immune system. So leave my baby alone. Okay, so back to the innate immune system. Share my screen. Chat and participants. I'm getting pretty good at doing this fast. Humoral immunity, cellular immunity. In particular, I'm talking about reishi mushroom now. Excuse me, G. lucidum. Polysaccharides may affect immune cells and immune-related cells, including B and T lymphocytes, dendritic cells, macrophages, natural killer cells, with the promotion of immune organ growth, cytokine release, and other immune regulatory functions. It's not all about the antibodies. Antibodies are just one part of the immune system. Furthermore, cellular and molecular immunomodulatory mechanisms, possible receptors involved, and triggered signaling pathways have also been summarized. And then they always, anything published like here and that you're going to find in the PubMed database is always going to wrap it up with, however, whole animal experiments are still needed to further establish the mechanism of Okay. Importantly, evidence-based clinical trials are also needed. Well, they might be needed to satisfy your curiosity, but they're not needed for somebody to say, guess what? I want to strengthen my immune system. I think I'm going to use some reishi mushroom. So always look at those things like don't wait. Don't wait. Okay. And then test studies have shown, can affect the genes in the white blood cells, which are critical parts of your immune system, right? So when we take beta-glucan is grown on mushroom, grown on the, something cerevisiae or whatever. But that's the one I use when people have cancer. When I did my cancer presentation, I talked about beta-glucan. So beta-glucan grown on mushrooms and yeast, right? It grows on the yeast. That's one, but it also grows on mushrooms. Beta-glucan, they actually raise your macrophage, your white blood cell macrophage activity to go after invaders. And in the case of cancer cells, but in case of other things. But okay, so getting your immune system, that's what we're talking about, innate immune system, cellular immunity. One study found that reishi could increase the number of other white blood cells in those with colorectal cancer. Okay, so again, going after, marking off, this is an enemy, go gobble it up. White blood cell, macrophage, go do your job. Just go eat it up and get rid of it. In another study, the fungus improved the function of lymphocytes, which help fight infections and cancer in athletes exposed to stressful conditions. And again, if you are curious, and let me just do something else while I'm here, and that is, I'm going to share, I put together while I was doing this, I also put together my mushroom page on my website. So all of these, references are here somewhere, right there. And then I link back to them. But you can see there the it's a really a comprehensive page. Reishi talks about that, and then we go into CHAGA, and then cordyceps, and then lion's mane tea. I didn't have quite time to get a tea recipe, but maybe I'll do that when I put out my newsletter tonight, just to say that the video's up. Get a nice reishi lion's mane tea. But anyway, so there's that you have as well as a reference. But see, all of these are there. Okay, so this is the reason I'm doing this is like so that you listen to me and you read other things and you're like, there's so much stuff on the internet. And I'm not saying just go to my page, but I'm trying to make it easy to see things in one place where you can look at a lot of different studies on things. And as you'll see, most of the links that I have on my pages are studies, because I think that this is one of the criticisms of people in holistic and alternative health is, are there studies? But also, while we can enjoy somebody writing something from a knowledge base, like I might write out of my knowledge base, right? We want to always have that backed up with studies. That to me is really important. Okay. All right. So anti-cancer. Many people consume reishi due to its potential anti-cancer properties. In fact, several test tube studies have shown that it can lead to the death of cancer cells. Some research has also investigated if reishi could be beneficial for prostate and colorectal cancer due to its effects on inflammation and certain signaling pathways involved in cancer development. So this is really important. And I can see that Brud is here. Brud Hodgkins is with us today. And Brud is with the sulforaphane, the broccoli sprouts, the indoor organic gardens of Poughkeepsie, and has an amazing product, sulforaphane. And he and I, we often get into discussions like this via email, but this is one of the big things and this is one of the big things I look at when I'm working with herbal things for cancer, is what are the pathways involved in this particular form of cancer? So it might be, say, I saw further down with one of the other mushrooms, I'm not sure which one it was, but they all are anti-cancer, all four that I'm talking about today. But the JAK, I think the JAK3 and the STAT5 or something like that. So if you know what pathways certain cancers are using to get their mojo, to get their nourishment and their momentum and how they walk, the goal, right, is to find the things that block those pathways. And I'll give you a good example. Paxlovid for COVID works through the M-Pro, small m, capital P, capital R, capital O pathway. But Paxlovid has with it several negatives. You got to be really careful with other drugs you're taking. There tends to be a rebound. Guess what works the same way through that same M-Pro pathway is melatonin. Melatonin is hugely anti-COVID. So knowing the pathways is really important, but here you don't have to know them. Just know to take use the mushrooms, right? Because you're doing that. Like if you're eating a whole food like mushrooms, or you're using like an extract, medicinal extract, whether in capsule or liquid form or whatever form, you're getting all that benefit. You don't really have to understand, but it makes it a lot more fun, at least for me, if I do. And what's more, one review indicated that the mushroom could benefit people with cancer when used alongside traditional treatment by increasing the activity of white blood cells and improving quality of life. And we find that with glutathione, we've talked about that with melatonin. There are certain things we can do that help treatments work better. If you're going to go with chemo and radiation or whatever, they help them work better. and more minimize the negative side effects. Still, more research on the effects of reishi on cancer development in humans is needed. Okay, so we got you. Benefit 3, could reduce fatigue and depression. Though reishi's effects on the immune system are often most emphasized, it may also reduce depression and fatigue. And we're going to find that with all 4 of these mushrooms I'm talking about today. And one older study examined its effects in 132 people with neurasthenia, a condition associated with aches, pains, dizziness, headaches, and irritability. Well, yeah, I'd be irritable too. I had aches, pains, dizziness, and headaches. The researchers found that fatigue was reduced and well-being was improved after 8 weeks of taking the supplements. And that's kind of a good thing to say as well. When you're using things that are tonic like this, it's not like taking ibuprofen because you have a toothache and, immediately you get relief of the toothache. When you're using things in a tonic manner, so you're using something on a daily basis to achieve slow change over time to what's going on in your body, what's going on into your cellular makeup and hormonal systems and all of that kind of thing. Give it time, because these are changes that don't happen overnight. So sometimes people will tell me, well, somebody told me this week, I've got a cabinet full, when they gave me a photo of it, like this was their first visit, so this wasn't stuff I recommended, but a cabinet full of supplements, because I read that this is good and I take it, but I don't notice anything, so I stopped taking it. So most nutritional supplements, that's not how we do it. We choose what we're going to do, and then we use them for some time. And then we notice that over time, things are much better. I used to feel like I had arthritis all over my body. It was like maybe a couple of years ago, I was saying, I feel like I don't know, I just always felt that way, and I never feel that way now, but I've added things during that time to my regimen and just kept up with them. And they're obviously working, whatever it is. I'm not sure what it is because I take so many things, but see, it takes time for root things to take place. Some things like the PEA, you're getting an immediate pain relief because of that inflammation coming down, and that's well and good. But these are like more what we call tonic things, like the mushrooms. Okay. Fatigue was reduced. Another 2012 study on people with breast cancer found that taking reishi powder reduced fatigue, anxiety, and depression, improved quality of life after 4 weeks. Heart health and blood pressure. A number of studies looking at people with both healthy and unhealthy levels of blood sugar and lipids. So your blood sugar and then your cholesterol and your triglycerides and things like that, found that reishi mushroom may help decrease blood sugar, increase HDL, cholesterol, and decrease triglycerides. And that's always the number that concerns me. I'm not concerned with total cholesterol, generally speaking. People with high cholesterol live the longest. I'm not concerned with LDL, because sometimes LDL is risen for a reason, like maybe you're fighting an infection. It's part of the immune system, except for small particle LDL, that's it. But triglycerides generally indicate a problem with fatty liver and a problem with probably too much sugar and trending more towards metabolic syndrome or diabetes. So the chaga, so interesting looking. So strange looking parasitic fungus resembling a chunk of burnt charcoal. I've got one here in the office. I should go grab it, but I'm not going to take the time. It's like this big, it's sitting on the bottom shelf. That's found, usually found growing on the side of birch trees in cold climates. So we have a lot of it around here in New Hampshire. When it comes to medicinal fungi, chaga mushrooms stand out for their antioxidant content and long history of use dating back thousands of years. Traditional healers in Eastern Europe documented using chaga to treat cancer and other ailments in the 12th century, but modern research into the health benefits of chaga only began in the 1950s. Wow, because yeah, chaga is one of those things that we call, I think, I'm trying to remember what Justin Garner, he's the mushroom guy, an herbalist from Brattleboro, Vermont, but I can't remember what he said, what the ORAC level of chaga is. but it's much, much higher than things that we think of as being very high in oxygen reactive. Oh gosh, ORAC is, oh gosh, now I'm going to get caught on that. But anyway, it's good stuff. It's like really high in antioxidants. And it's like better than the things that we think of that are really, really high, like blueberries or things like that. It's like many, many more times higher than that. Chaga is a functional medicine mushroom and adaptogen that's best known for its immune boosting and cancer fighting properties, but it has so much more to offer. So adaptogen, all of the mushrooms that we're talking about today are considered adaptogens, which mean they tend to work within the individual based on what's going on in your body and what you need. A good example of an endogenous adaptogen, excuse me, sorry about that, is breast milk. Okay, so when a mother is breastfeeding her infant or her child, the breast milk composition changes with what's going on with the baby. So if the baby's sick, the breast milk content will change in order to address what's going on with the baby's sickness. Is that wild or what? That's pretty cool. And that's adaptogenic. And that's another reason why breast milk is so far superior to infant formula. And even to pumping, nursing right at the breast is far superior, because guess what goes down as soon as you store that breast milk? Guess what level goes down? It's a word I like to say every single week, at least once: glutathione. So, women, I'm not saying, you're making an effort to do that, but your nutritional content of breast milk changes. It just kind of like, it just dissipates. Not good. I got to really do that. I really zone in and focus in on prenatal and childhood stuff and pregnancy, preconception. So I do want to read this. It looks a little like boring. Oh no, Becky, but because this kind of tells like about the chaga mushroom. Is an inexpensive fungus with a broad range of traditional and medicinal applications. These applications include therapy for breast, cervical, and skin cancers, as well as treating diabetes. However, its benefits are virtually untapped due to a limited understanding of its mycochemical composition and bioactivities. In this article, we explore the ethnobotany, mycochemistry, pharmacology, traditional therapeutic, cosmetic, and prospective agricultural uses. The review establishes that several secondary metabolites, such as steroids, terpenoids, and other compounds exist in chaga. Findings on its bioactivity have demonstrated its ability as an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antiviral, and anti-tumor agent. Wow. The study also demonstrates that chaga powder has a long history of traditional use for medicinal purposes, pipe smoking rituals, and mystical future forecasts. The study further reveals that the applications of chaga powder can be extended to industries such as pharmaceuticals, foods, cosmetics, and agriculture. However, numerous publications focused on the pharmaceutical benefits of chaga, with few publications on other applications. Anyway, overall, chaga is a promising natural resource with a wide range of potential applications, and therefore the diverse array of therapeutic compounds make it an attractive candidate for various applications such as plant biofertilizers and active ingredients in cosmetics and pharmaceutical products. Thus, we should explore it more. Yeah. So many things like that. I was talking about the moringa tree a while back, and the moringa they use as biofuel, and they use as cleaning water, and they use it to nourish their undernourished and things like that. So this, don't know that I'm going to go through all of these, time willing, but again, anti-inflammatory effects. Helping to prevent and treat cancer, lowering blood sugar. These all take you to studies. Protecting the liver, promoting heart health, boosting the immune system again. Improving gut health and digestion. And this is pretty worth saying because that's a big problem in underlying a lot of health things today. So modulating the gut microbiota. So chronic pancreatitis. So you can get chronic pancreatitis. A lot of times you have that in people who drink too much. Or chronic pancreatitis can sometimes be can have something to do with blood sugar dysregulation, because the pancreas do that. So a good influence there. And again, with the anti-inflammation, preventing gastric ulcer. So I think here it actually works against H. pylori. You don't see that there, but I saw that in one of the mushrooms that also is anti-ulcer. So here we've got something so far in both of these mushrooms that we're getting through right now, chaga and reishi. We're talking about the immune system modulation, cancer. We're talking about the gastrointestinal tract, and all of that, the microbiome. So these are big things. These are major roots when it comes to nourishing all the branches of health and affecting so many things. Treating inflammatory bowel disease. Makes sense, right? Because it's so anti-inflammatory. Anyway, see that. Helping to fight viruses, hepatitis C, facilitating healthy skin. I don't know, facilitating healthy skin, but helping your skin be more healthy. Oh, I have a brand new product. I'll tell you in a minute. Coming out next week. Very excited about it. Oh, I stumbled on that because of a client too. So much I don't know. COVID-19. Let's look at that. Chaga. Targeting SARS-CoV-2 with chaga mushroom. An in silico study toward developing a natural antiviral compound. Oh, gosh. It says here, the results, increased interaction with the ACE2 receptors. And the results showed that chaga could be an effective natural antiviral that can supplement the current anti-SARS-CoV-2 drugs. We have to say that. They have to supplement, right? They can't take the place of, but there you go. Enhancing brain function, reducing stress and improving mood and sleep, combating aging in general. Let's see on the brain function. So yeah, they gave some sort of animal some scopolamine and induced cognitive dysfunction. These poor animals, I hate to even read that. But thus a significant cognitive enhancement observed in mice after this chaga administration is closely related to higher brain antioxidant properties and inhibition of this bad activity. And these findings stress the critical impact of chaga, a medicinal mushroom, on the higher brain functions like learning and memory. Okay. So again, a one-stop shop. Combating aging, cancer, inflammation, bowel disease, cordyceps. That looks like some sort of a fake doesn't that look like some sort of a fake confection? That particular thing, like made with well, what are those little things that you put on your chow mein? Anyway, that's not what that is. So cordyceps is really weird. Are parasitic fungi that typically grow on the larvae of insects. Now they can also infect insects after they have reached adulthood. The fungus penetrates and invades its host insect, replacing the existing tissue and sprouting elongated fruiting bodies, which eventually emerge from the larva or insect's body. Ooh, and then we eat them. Cordyceps are an adaptogen, meaning that they have a number of health benefits based on the needs of the body using them. We just talked about that. They can have varying effects on different people and essentially adapt to one's needs, says Danielle so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So look at that. Isn't that gross? I don't know. That just really disturbs me. I mean, I'm happy about it. And I've got the extract right here, and I take it every day. But boy, I would not be popping one of those into my mouth or cooking with them. sometimes called the caterpillar fungus. It's parasitic in nature because it grows on a type of caterpillar and then winds up eating its own host. The base of the mushroom, I guess it's pretty ingenious, but it just, I don't know. And the mushroom forms the insects from the insect's larva and is dark brown to black, attaching itself to the organism and growing about 6 inches long. And once it fully matures, it actually consumes more than 90% of the infected insect. And these shrooms then swell up and enlarge to become about 300 to 500 milligrams in weight. Ooh. 2 of the most common species, there's 2 of them. They have a lot of overlap in how they work. Yeah, but I did read a little bit of a difference a while back. And I looked and I saw that this actually, the one that I have is the Cordyceps militaris. And that there was some sort of an advantage, a slight advantage to the militaris now that I recall. I happened to think about it when I was doing this, putting this together. Some health benefits, again, increasing immune function. And anti-inflammatory compounds like polysaccharides, like the beta-glucans, modified nucleosides and cyclosporins. Taking cordyceps may be especially beneficial in the treatment of inflammatory-related conditions such as Crohn's disease, arthritis, leaky gut, and asthma. Again, respiratory, digestive, the intestinal tract, the inflammation, sort of like inflammation throughout the whole body, immune system function. You can see when you look at something like traditional Chinese medicine that has been practiced for thousands of years, and it's been traditional and it's held on, you have a pretty good idea that it works because it's endured. And these people, smart herbal medicine from plant medicine or whatever, from every single culture. Brilliant, whether it's the Native American Indians or the Indian people in India, or you name it, wherever they are from. And then Russia has its own, and Russia and the Baltic countries and everything, they have their own way of looking at herbal medicine and figuring it out. And it's nice to have studies that back it up and show us, oh, this is really what's going on. That makes sense that this works for this because we find that it works in this pathway or it does that. But your traditional use is very important and it's very significant. Reducing inflammation in the airways of mice. So this might be something that's good. Now, another thing that I didn't get into here in this presentation is weight. But I remember reading that cordyceps is very good for weight loss. And I believe some of the other ones are too, like reishi, I think is also. I didn't see that today in the things that I'm looking at, but I have to go back and look, but I know I've seen that in more than one place. Slowing aging and promoting mental clarity. They're jam-packed with antioxidants that must get from those insects that help fight free radical damage, prevent oxidative stress, help slow down the signs of aging to optimize your health. Although research on the anti-aging effects of this medicinal mushroom is primarily limited to animal studies, research shows that it can boost brain function again, enhance memory, and even extend longevity. They're just good things to do. For example, one animal model in the Journal of Phytotherapy research showed that taking cordyceps extract increased the activity of antioxidants like superoxide dismutase and glutathione. Peroxidase in the blood. So sort of a precursor of those. Those are your master antioxidants in the body. Melatonin is too. But those would be the top 3. Melatonin, glutathione, and superoxide dismutase. Not only that, but it also helped boost brain power and enhance sexual function in aging rats. Similarly, found cordyceps extract to fruit flies significantly prolonged their lifespans. Well, that's really good to know. Really, maybe if I could put out in little dishes in the kitchen, like some cordyceps, we could extend the life of those fruit flies. Not. Anyway, improves athletic performance. That's always good. Regulates blood sugar levels, 2 important constituents. Partially responsible for various physiological actions that help control insulin and blood sugar levels. In animal models, cordyceps supplements have helped combat high blood sugar levels while also reducing insulin levels to protect against insulin resistance. So again, like I'm always saying, you got one thing here. Well, I don't know one thing here, but you've got mushrooms here. You've got fabulous fungi, and they're working for your blood sugar, preventing diabetes. They're working for your microbiome in the gut, preventing irritable bowel and irritable bowel type diseases. Got it working for the brain, you know, guarding against dementias and things like that. And we saw also with lipid balance. So it's really a one-stop shop. Heart health, again, help reduce damage to the heart and liver in rats with kidney disease. Lower levels of the bad LDL cholesterol may also reduce high triglycerides. Lipid lowering effect of from hyperlipidemic hamsters and rats. Okay. Oh, hamsters and rats. May help fight cancer cells. Again, another one. Colorectal cancer, liver, lung, colorectal cancer cells. Oh, this is really cool too. The anti-cancer effects of cordyceps extend beyond stopping cancer growth. Animal studies also show that these medicinal mushrooms could reduce the risk of side effects caused by cancer treatment. Again, we were talking about that earlier. Because sometimes chemotherapy and radiation, your white blood cell counts go down, right? And they're like, oh my gosh, you can't get your next treatment because your white blood cell count is so low. And then we'll use like echinacea to try to get that up there. But this helps with that as well. Combat stress and supports mental health, like the other ones do. Environmental stress and oxidative stress in the body. Promotes restful sleep. It increases the non-rapid eye movement sleep in rats. The experiment can provide basic evidence that cordycepin may be helpful for sleep disturbed subjects. So be something to think about if that's a problem for you. Lion's mane, really beautiful, really gorgeous, isn't it? You can pick those right up at, you can purchase the lion manes. David Witchland Woods, I think it's called, but he stocks, he's probably not the only person who provides mushrooms to the co-op, Manana co-op here in Keene, but I know he does, and you can get those and cook with them, and a lot of other cool ones he's got there too that are not the typical button, although button mushrooms are really good for you too. Lion's mane, got their name, they look like a lion's thing. Responsible, the compounds target the gut, the heart, and the brain. Oh yeah, that's one that's kind of goes through and gives you a bunch of different things there. Chemistry, nutrition, and health promoting properties. So let me just like go through here. Antibiotic, anti-carcinogenic, so anti-cancer, anti-diabetic, anti-fatigue, anti-hypertensive, so high blood pressure, anti-hyperlipidemic, so high cholesterol lipid imbalance, anti-senescence, so senility, cardioprotective, hepatoprotective, that's the liver, nephroprotective, that's the kidneys, neuroprotective, that's the brain, and improvement of anxiety, cognitive function, and depression. The described anti-inflammatory properties and improvement of anxiety, cognitive function. Oh, wait a minute. The described anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and immunostimulating properties in cells, animals, and humans seems to be responsible for the multiple health promoting properties. A wide range of research advances and techniques are described and evaluated. The collated information and suggestion for further research might facilitate and guide further studies to optimize the use of the whole mushrooms and about 70 characterized actual and potential bioactive secondary metabolites to help prevent or treat human chronic, cognitive, and neurological diseases. So that's just where I am. Let's prevent and treat the chronic diseases. Can improve immune health. Hedgehog mushrooms, they're also known as. Against liver, colon, and even gastric cancer cells. And protects brain health. Dietary supplementation of Hericium ericaneus increases mossy blah, 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 blah. Hippocampal neurotransmission and recognition in wild type mice. So the hippocampus is what's really involved in Alzheimer's disease. Memory in general. Boosts and protects gut health. Excellent source of beta glucan. I was talking about that. It's the polysaccharides. The reason I don't do the mushrooms myself and I purchase them from Catskill fungi in upstate New York in the Catskill Mountains. And he's actually the guy who owns this company is the son of a woman who's been my client since I was practicing in Connecticut back in 2007 and 8. And really excellent products, but you want to do like a triple extraction if you want to get all the polysaccharides and the beta glucans out of mushrooms. I do a simple extraction of lion's mane because all I want is the brain properties. But for the beta glucans, you want to do a water extraction plus an alcohol extraction, but a hot water, like a boiled extraction. So I don't do that. I do what I do best and outsource the rest. So that's why I don't do those here in the shop. Promotes heart health. May help regulate blood sugar. So you really don't have to take them all, right? You could like say, I'm going to incorporate one mushroom extract or whatever into my daily routine because there's so much overlap with them. They all are dealing with blood sugar, cardiovascular. Well, that would, yeah, blood sugar, cardiovascular, you know, like blood pressure and lipids and all of that kind of thing. The brain and the gut, the immune system. May alleviate anxiety, depression. That we've seen that in every single one that we've talked about, all three to this point. No, all four, because we're on the fourth one. Nerve growth factors. Oh yeah, guess what else does that? Is lithium. People with individuals, depression and anxiety have lower nerve growth factor. Lithium orotate, trace mineral, also raises brain-derived neurotropic factor and nerve growth factor. So again, something that does that. This is needed. So many things that go behind depression and anxiety. It's not always an easy, you just need more serotonin or more norepinephrine or more dopamine. Lion's mane mushrooms promote these factors, which indicates that it could be a potential alternative medication for depression in the future. Don't wait for the future. If you're depressed, give it a try. Individuals who have had injury to the brain, spinal cord, or nervous system may benefit from lion's mane mushrooms. Lion's mane has the ability to aid in the regeneration of peripheral nerves. So we would think of this for somebody with neuropathy, brain injury, stroke, multiple sclerosis, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, which is a prion disease from, like, think mad cow disease, but this was with sheep earlier on in history, among others. So guards against stomach ulcers, like we saw with the cordyceps, I believe, or it might have been one of the other ones. Yeah, this is the one that helps deal with the H. pylori, that bacteria that causes stomach ulcers. Reduces systemic inflammation. Again, at the root of so many chronic inflammation is associated, again, with all these chronic diseases, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, arthritis, allergies, COPD, autoimmune disorders, and more. Lion's mane mushrooms contain anti-inflammatory compounds that can lessen the impact of those conditions. And again, you can see that there. So these are the products that I have here. These are what I have, and you can click on those and see them. Each one takes you to the page, if you're interested in that. But I'm going to just stop my share. Well, let me just see here. Summary: mushrooms are rich in nutrients, are delicious and versatile foods. Their medicinal qualities can be further enjoyed through the use of supplements. Like all root medicines, the fungi we've examined today all help and prevent even treat the common chronic health diseases of our times. And then, yeah. And then that takes you to the informational page, which later today will have this video and then the PDF that I just went through. All right, I'm gonna stop my share. For energy and weight loss, which ones? Kathy's asking me, which of these mushrooms do you recommend for energy and weight loss? I remember the cordyceps for energy and weight loss. And something else I read that I didn't focus on today. So I would say definitely that. I think reishi is also indicated for weight loss. How much chaga, dehydrated powder, should be taken a day for maintaining health? I don't know the answer to that. Usually if you're buying something, if you're like grinding up your own powder, I can't tell you exactly. I think I'm remembering when we had the powder, what you do is you can make a tea with it and drink like a couple cups of the tea, but I would have to get back to you. Cindy, I can get that information back to you, and I'll let people know next week too. But usually if people are buying like a chaga powder supplement or capsules, the dose is going to be correct on there. And then since the mushrooms overlap in what they do, how do you decide which one to use? Kay is asking. I think it's just a matter of your preference. Like you might say, lion's mane is really known to be excellent for the brain, but it's also got it's also got the support to the gut and cancer and the immune system and cardiovascular and your blood sugar. So you might say, if I was looking at neurodegenerative things, I'd go more for lion's mane because it's also going to do those other things. If you were looking for, something in the reishi, people tend to do more for cancer, that kind of thing. They tend to go more for it that way. But I think there's like just so much overlap that you could just kind of try one and see how you like it. If you notice anything, you might not, you're still getting the benefit. And then try another. What I do is, because I have this, I'm surrounded by this stuff every day. So I have here, I have a bottle of each, and I have out there, like in the thing I have, like, I'll just put a little water in there and I just take like a squirt of each. I try to do this a couple times a day, but it's one of those things that sometimes I forget the second dose. So there's like a squirt of each one. You don't have to do each one, but I'm like, why not? They're all so good for you. And then the other thing I put in there is a shot of a squirt of Hoshu Wu, otherwise known as faux tea, because faux tea is used in traditional Chinese medicine. It's really good for the brain. It's fantastic for the brain, but it keeps the hair black. The Chinese swear by it. The Asian people, the Hoshu Wu faux tea keeps your hair black. And I have like so few gray hairs. And I'm 66. So I'm like, let's just double up a little bit on the anti-gray stuff and see how long we can hang on. Anyway, cheers. Tastes very mushroomy. The other thing I would say is, really enjoy cooking with mushrooms more, using mushrooms more in your daily diet because they're fantastic. And I talked about one time about the ergothioneine that is in mushrooms, even very high in button mushrooms. If you're just cooking with mushrooms on a daily basis, the ergothioneine is very similar to glutathione and being a huge antioxidant. So anyway, we are at 1:09 and I'm keeping you, and it's a beautiful day out there. So what tea is that? What tea? Did I say something about a tea? Oh, the chaga tea. Kathy, I used to make Justin Garner used to, go out and harvest the chaga mushroom for me and grind it up. And then I would provide it to people in, it's not a tea, it's faux tea. FOTI. Faux tea, otherwise known as Hoshu Wu. Isn't that fun to say? Faux tea, Hoshu Wu, Polygonum multiflorum. It's in my Brain Blast formula because it's really, really great for the brain. But again, the Asian people use it to keep from going gray. And I have to admit, older Asian people, a lot of times you don't really see them get gray like we do over here in the West. So anyway, if there's nothing else, I'm going to let you go. Thanks so much for being here with me again. I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about next week, but whatever it is, I hope you'll be as interested as I am. Have a wonderful day.